Right, friends, here I am with my Logos review. Every couple of years, Logos releases a new version. This time, we don't really have a version number. We would be expecting 11, but really it's just about Logos being under a subscription model now. Now, for some people, you hear that and you might be worried. Do I lose things if I don't keep subscribing? The answer is no. There's been a lot of panic about it. And whenever you buy a book in Logos, that's your book in Logos. It's connected to your account. It does not go away. That includes when you buy books in packages, okay? This new version, though, and the reason it has a subscription model is because it now comes with AI. This new version of Logos that was just released a couple days ago is really all about AI. There are a couple of different things in terms of the user interface. So let me show you some examples. As you look at this screen, top left corner, you have an icon now, and then you have this, which is the dashboard. Dashboard is a little more cleaned up now. I have it upsized, but still similar to what you would expect, but it's just kind of a little cleaner. And if I open up the Bible pane, for instance, you will see that there's this new tab or new bar here. So it used to all be on the top. And a lot of what you see here, contents, so that used to be there. Again, that's showing you the table of contents. But this is new, having that there. Favorites is not new, but having it here immediately accessible is new. If you click the favorites is essentially bookmarking absolutely anything in Logos. And now it sits here. It's a little bit discontinuous. You know, it's not necessarily related just to the NRSV. As you see here, I have a link to a lexicon that has nothing to do with the NRSV. Nonetheless, it is much quicker to grab it from here. It's not unlike throwing things up in this top row. These are some of my favorites or things that I access quickly, but if you have a longer list of favorites, you can stick them in your favorites bar. As you see, I don't really use them right now, but I suspect that I will more often. Favorites was available previously in a menu. Now it's sitting here. Another thing, again, just looking at the Bible pane here, you have the history right here. And if I click down, you see it's related to the panel history. So in other words, if I were to jump over to Genesis 1:1, you'll now see that in history, Philippians 3:5, because that's where I just was, is now sitting there. You can quickly jump back and forth. So it saves the history. Logos, again, has been doing this all along for a long, long period of time, but you had to go to a history panel and it would catalog everything that you've been in, whatever panel you were in, whatever Bible, dictionary, lexicon, wherever you were, and it was collating that history for you so you could jump back. Now it's right in the Bible panel. It's specific to the panel. Very helpful. This is the same as it was before. It's just in a different spot. So however you want to go back and forth, you can jump verses, or you can jump by chapter if you're in a book, if you're in an article, etc. The other thing is the link set. So again, this is not new. It's not a new feature. It's just been placed in a new spot. I think a more helpful spot. Much of this stuff, if it was either elsewhere or if it was already here, it used to sit in the 3 vertical dots menu. This has been much simplified. You see still important things related to the panel, but the link set used to be over there. And so they've taken some things out, they put them in this second bar, and then looking up, you'll see now home, search, notes, formatting, view, tools, share. This is a new type of menu, again, within the panel itself. So again, the biggest thing in terms of the user interface for the new version of Logos is within these menus that sit within the panel itself. You have these below. Notice how they've changed depending, that secondary thing has changed depending on what my main thing is here. Home, you have those that I just talked about. Search now is sitting there. Again, it's sitting in the same spot, but it's kind of in its own tab now. You can specify over here. So this is what is called the inline search. So again, this is not a new feature. It's just sitting in a slightly different position and a way to access it. Notes, though, that's new. This is a new menu item within the Bible pane. Again, I think very helpful if you're taking notes a lot. Often I've put a notes pane beside or in a whole different window, but now you can quickly get to them from here. You can add notes and highlights, etc. I think it's really good to have that in the pane. Your formatting, so the way that you view your Bible, if you use visual filters, if you've ever taken a Greek class, my online Greek course, or a Greek class through my textbook, either in at the school that I'm at or another school, visual filters are something you build to kind of see your Greek text, but you can do other ways, as well as the factbook tags if you want to actually see those. So if I, click that on, you'll start to see blue underlines everywhere. Those are connected to the fact book. It'll open up fact book items. This is, again, not new. This was here before. It's just kind of in a different spot. They've laid it out more nicely in these menus. Again, the view thing, how you want to see it. This is where you add your interlinear, etc. Add parallel texts if you want. Again, not new, just in a different spot. And then other various tools if you need it translated. So especially if you're in your book, if you're looking at a German book and you want to see the English translation, if you're looking at an English book and you want to see the Spanish translation, translate is where you can do it. Comparing different texts you can do from here. Again, that's not a new feature. It just used to be in a different menu. It's in a quicker menu to grab right from the panel. Summarizing it, this is new. This is AI. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Reading aloud, again, not new, just more easily accessible. Same with your printing, exporting. And then the share is a way to copy a link directly to wherever you are, as well as doing copying. Are you copying the link? Are you copying plain text? How do you want to copy it? How do you want to send it somewhere? You can even start creating slides depending on what you've highlighted. So the copy or share menu, again, is new. It was something that you would previously grab by highlighting something, and then you would hit copy, which you still can, you see in the pop-up menu, but now it's also up here, another way to grab it. And again, a lot of these buttons here used to sit in the vertical 3-dot menu. It's just been moved to a bit more of an accessible place. So that, in my opinion, is the most kind of the biggest UI change that may make it look like I'm looking at something new, because all of a sudden you have more sub menus within your panel, and then below that another sub menu. So you got our top menus in our menu bar, that there. Then you have the first set of buttons, and then in your panel now you have menus, and then you have this other menu. So there's a lot more menus in the panels now, and that's why initially it may look a little jarring if you're a new user who's used Logos before and they're coming into the new version. Okay, with that said, really the biggest thing about this new version of Logos is AI. That really should be no surprise to you. AI is a huge disruptor in almost every industry. And I'm really excited about the fact that it's in Logos now, really for one big reason, and I'll show you that reason now by going to the search window. So here's the thing about AI. I use AI. I use it cautiously. I think there are some ethical issues right now with AI in the way that it's trained. There's ethical issues with the use of art, training it to be artistic. All those things I think are all valid and things that we need to think about. There are also the environmental implications that I do think we need to continue to be careful with. The other component, again, as someone who is in education, is the fact that sometimes people are just letting AI do everything instead of being discerning and using it as a tool rather than just replacing you and the hard work that you should do. I'm not a proponent of that. And that's why I like how Logos has done it. So you will see various places where Logos has now built in AI to help you, to assist. So I showed you before that there was a summarize button. That is generating from AI, from whatever article or section you're looking at. It will summarize that for you. Okay, so this is a help to you. Yes, you could summarize it yourself. In this case, it's a bit of a time saver. It has also been built into the Sermon Builder, as well as a new item in your Tools button, which is called the Bible Study Builder. So again, the Bible Study Builder, for example, if I'm studying or I'm leading a Bible study in Mark 1, 1 to 8, and I clicked it here, it will help me not do a lot of study. This is about helping me generate questions. So it's not only going through my library here, but if I'm not happy with anything I found, I can generate some questions via AI based on the passage that I'm studying. So you see how this is a helper. It's not doing everything for me. It's kind of doing some kind of quick tasks that I could do myself, but it's giving me some time saving. You have this for this new Bible study builder. It is in your sermon builder where it will look for, or it can suggest like a general outline for you that you can kind of start and then refine along the way. And it will also do some searches in your library to help you. So again, it's kind of those assistants, the AI as assistant. Now, what I'm most excited about as a Logos user is that what I have not liked about the use of something like ChatGPT, and I do use ChatGPT for some things, but what I haven't liked is that I don't know where it's getting its information. And while oftentimes it's accurate, I'd prefer to know who it's getting information from so that I can follow it up. And that's not easy to do when you're using general AI. And that's where Logos is really scratching an itch for me personally. So in Logos, first off, you have all of these different types of searches. Some of these are new, by the way. Some of them have been around for a long time. But where AI really comes in is both in the all search and in the books search. So over in this section here, you have two different types of searching. It's precise searching, and then it's smart searching. Smart searching means it's utilizing AI. So you have that little AI button, okay? So if I go over to all, I have it set to the smart search here. I can type in anything. You see the examples here. You can type in whatever you want. So I'll type in Dead Sea Scrolls as per its example, and you'll see it starts working. So it's searching really everything, like not only everything in my library, it's actually even looking at stuff that I don't have in my library. Notice the very top thing is a synopsis. This is generated by AI to give me a synopsis about what I just typed in, Dead Sea Scrolls, okay? But it's not just giving this. If I was in something like ChatGPT, all you would get was something like this paragraph. But notice how it's giving me sources, telling me to go read more if I want to. And then below, even more resources. It's helping me find, it encourages me to open up the fact book to see even more things. It's highlighting where I may have stuff within my own documents, etc. Okay, so you have that AI component, but it's more than that, and it's building upon the Logos library. Now, what I really like, and it even says here, search only books in your library, use book search instead. Say, so all is really all. It's like all of my stuff, things I've bought, things I've added, but even the wider Logos web, as it were. What I'm interested in as a researcher and as a scholar is interacting with my books. I have a large Logos library. I want to know, what do those books say? So I can do the same type of search, but I can do more than that. I can ask questions about people, about places, about things. So again, just for sake of time, because I already had it in there, you can ask questions of it, and it will now search only my Logos books because I'm in the books search, and you see your books. So now it's generating an answer only based on the books in my Logos library. It'll create the synopsis for me. It will then give me examples of places that start to answer this question that I put in. And you can ask any types of questions, and this is what I love. Because sometimes I remember, I remember where someone said something. I can start doing a search, but it can be, if I can't remember the precise quotation, if I remember the precise, I can go to precise over here. If I can't remember the precise, I can ask these generic questions, and AI is doing that assistant work for me and confining itself to the material and the information and the knowledge in my books, okay? In my Logos library. I love that. This is exactly what I've wanted since AI came out. I wanted to be able to make use of it as an assistant for the books that I own. I bought them because I find them valuable. Now, I can be even more concise. And again, this is what I love. So you see here, it says your books, but I can click on that and perhaps I had a book open or several books open. I can confine it to just the open book. So I'll just throw a book down there. I got it open. I can leave the same question and I'm going to put it to open books now. So now it's going to confine itself to answering the question only based on the data that's in that book. That's so great. I can go further than that. I can say down here, I can say particular collections. So in Logos, in your library, you can create collections of books based on either doing it manually, you add the books manually to the collection, or you can base it on like the title, you can base it on tags that you've given it, all sorts of things. You can then go down, you can choose books with particular book types. You can go to the ratings that you may have given it, and then of course you can go to your tags. So I can specify, I can go into a particular book that I've tagged as whatever, and then I can say, according to those books, AI, look and find the answer to these questions or find the information on what they say about this. This is so great. Now, even better than that is that Logos, in the last iteration, my favorite new feature for Logos 10 was adding what they called print library. So I'm surrounded by a bunch of books as well, my physical library, and I was able to add it to something called the print library, where I can say I own this book physically, but not in Logos. And Logos would do me the favor, if assuming that they had it in their Logos catalog, it would do me the favor of still returning search results from my print library. I just couldn't access it in Logos, but it would say page 122 of this book, and I can go over to my shelf, pick it off, and read what it said. You can do the exact same thing now with the Smart Search. So you can fill your print library in Logos, so all the books that you may have physical copies of, again, assuming Logos has a Logos copy, you can add it to your print library, and your Smart Searching could be in your print library too. One thing I'm hoping Logos will do in the future, it's not currently able to, but I can't make a collection of both print and Logos books together. So let's say I have a collection of books on, the book of Matthew. And so I say, here's my Logos books on Matthew, my academic Logos books on Matthew. Here are my print books. I want to put them into one collection for the Smart Search to do its work. That's not currently possible. You can't mix print and Logos books. My hope is that this will happen in the future. I understand the complexities of that on the back end for Logos, so I'm not blaming them that it's not ready yet, but I do hope for that. What I also appreciate, again, we talked a little bit, or I mentioned a little bit about the ethics of AI, is that Logos has done the work to make sure that this is not sent out to the World Wide Web like ChatGPT, where if you upload documents to the free version, those things now exist on the web available for ChatGPT. Logos has not done that. They have kept these things secure. So I am accessing Smart AI to help me with research on books that I own. That's ethical in my opinion. And so again, this is my favorite feature by far. This is what makes subscribing to Logos, especially if you're starting to get a larger library, this is what makes subscribing to this new model of Logos worth it. It will give you these synopses. You'll be able to ask specific questions. You can confine the material, the pile of information that AI is accessing. You can control what that pile of information is that it's digging through for you. Again, this is what I've been waiting for so long with AI, to be able to access my own books and ask questions of my own books. So that is really the big thing that has come about in this new era of Logos. It's a subscription model. You don't have to subscribe. So if you've heard everything I've just said about AI now in Logos, you don't like it, you don't intend on using it, you don't have to. You do not have to subscribe to Logos. You always keep your books as they are. your Logos engine will update. You just won't have the smart features that are built in different areas. So as you open a book here, for instance, I went to this, I happened to open this. Let me just click on chapter 1 here. And you'll see over here, you see the summarize, show summarization, okay, and see how I've chosen an article. I'm just happened to be on chapter 1. I can go down, I can choose that instead. And you click summarize. So you see how AI is now built in. You can quickly access it in many different places. And you can say, what section of text in your book you would like to summarize. You click that, it will start summarizing it for you, and it places it right over there, okay? So the summarize feature you will see all throughout your panels. But again, in my opinion, the power of AI that's been brought into Logos is in the search. So I've said a few things that I've changed about the UI. I've talked about really the biggest addition to the latest version of Logos in AI. In terms of things I don't like or wish were a little bit different, really, it's more just a hope. I hope at some point Logos will be able to have mixed collections of my print books and my Logos books so that I can use smart AI on them together. I don't really like that this little button is here because this does nothing. Click that and it does nothing. That's so minor. That's just me. And there's a couple of places where because Logos is so big now, sometimes you access one thing in multiple places. Again, I can't really fault them for that. Sometimes it's just helpful to have it there, but these menus are just getting so large. Like if I were to open all of these, you see, I just have to scroll forever. Now, they've made it easy. I can type it in up here, but this is just part of Logos being huge and doing so many great things. So I love Logos, continue to love it, continue to access it. And I am a subscriber of the latest version of Logos too. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. And just to remind you, I do have a Logos tutorial course online. Again, I put the link below there. And if you like to support me, I am also just a Logos partner. If you want to search, you don't go to dannyzacharias.net/shop-logos, and I get a couple pennies if you buy something. So that's a lot of fun. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoy Logos. And if you need some more training, join my Logos tutorial course online.